Yeah, we're taking on too much. So you're seeing these people that you're having to back away from to protect your mental health because it's one more thing to take on that we just can't. We don't have the capacity to. And I believe that, and this is my belief, that those that are falling into that hole are the ones that are taking on everything and aren't allowing themselves to cut off stuff to, and not, like you said, there's a I don't give a fuck and a I can't give a fuck.
Hey, y'all. We are back again with the continuation of my conversation with Jovi Saturn on everything just being unhinged. We go on further speaking about the lack of leadership, how people have lost focus, and a number of other things. So stay tuned. Let's get into it.
You're now tuned into Spiritual Gangsta Certified with Illy Bish.
As far as what we're seeing, and I will say, as far as what we're seeing on social media as a whole, which is starting to, I guess, permeate into real life now. It's not enough for people, you know, we can no longer say, oh, you're just doing this for likes. No, a lot of people are doing this to get paid. So now that attitude, we're like, oh, you just want to be on social media, so people can like you and send you comments. No, honey, a lot of people are getting paid. Some people are getting paid enough to take care of their rent and lifestyle. And when they figure out how to do it, the likes are nice. The paycheck is better. So now that part is a part of it, can be a real job for you. It can be a real hustle for you. So you can, you know, and then the whole, oh, well, that's just online. That's not really reflecting in real life.
That's not true.
Except now it is, because people are, for example, what just happened with that young man. All over TikTok, people were going on and on and on about how I wish somebody would do it. Disclaimer, I am not promoting that. I don't promote any violence. I definitely don't promote you becoming an assassin. Like, that's crazy, right? But there were people, lightweight, suggesting that in certain ways that they wanted someone to take up the mantle to be one. Well, one person said that they were going to. He's just been arrested. He was on TikTok, said that he was going to go ahead, and he got arrested, right?
Breaking news out of Floyd County, 80 miles northwest of Atlanta. A man has been charged with threatening to assassinate President Donald Trump. The U.S. Justice Department says Juwan Rayshon Porter, a convicted felon, joined a TikTok live stream about President Trump. Porter allegedly made several comments about killing the president and any federal agents who came to his door. Authorities conducted a search at his home in Rome and found pistol ammunition and an explosive. Secret Service is now taking over this investigation.
So that's becoming real life, where now it is actually becoming where influencers aren't just influencing whether or not you're going to follow someone on social media or comment. We already started seeing that kind of trend where influencer would buy something and people want to buy the same thing. Now it's getting into the mental part of it. Now it's getting into the physical, take this. But it is what was I getting ready to say? So we were talking about how the whole influencing is now becoming into like a real life, and people are taking that's the part of the lack of leadership. The Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries, if we're using astrology to determine that, but it speaks to the fact that we don't know who we're following, but we're following something. People are now following ideologies. So they've replaced people with complete ideologies. Complete belief systems. You are following people's beliefs. You're following people's ideologies. You're following people's psychosis.
Yes.
And you don't even realize you're being led by possible lunatics. You're being led by broken people. You're being led by people who are, it reminds me of the movie The Grudge. You know, one of the scariest things about The Grudge and The Ring, and each one of those, and I can't remember, I think I did an astrology on there to see the theme that this fit in. But one of the things that scared me about those movies, I was terrified, is that there was never any resolution. The Ring, Samara, The Grudge, there was no stopping it. It was just because all they wanted was for people to feel their pain. That was it. The grudge was, you were never going to defeat her. There was never going to be and they tried everything. They found her bone. They tried to bury her. They tried to no, because her whole goal was, I'm not trying to be healed. I don't want to be healed. I want you to feel my pain. And that feels good enough for me. There are people like this out in the world, and we're following them too.
Jesus, are you right? Absolutely. Right on the money. Like, to the point where there's another question to ask there. Some of the people who are like spiraling don't even know that they're spiraling. Some do. Some might have a smidgen of an idea that this is happening, but it's being freaking excessively amplified. And that's what this ripple effect is. I think that people are like, oh, I'm going to Homer Simpson into the bushes because guess what, bitch? What is this? So there don't appear to be people to lead or to follow. But they're out there, but they're not out there. That's another part that I want to add. Because you said this before when we talked about Saturn, before it went into Pisces.
Right.
A lot of people are just going to be like, fade into the background, choose their solitude, do their work in private, shut up, not talk so much about the work that they're doing, and things like that. And a lot of people are feeling like they made a good decision by doing that. I mean, now we're in different energy, about to go back into that energy, but they're still struggling because we still have to deal with the rest of the world, no matter what it is that you're actually doing as a panacea or a way to just deal with it. Yeah.
Right. And I would say that even for us, and I'm putting us and like me in that category, because it was the same thing. I took the route of I'm going to go into isolation, you know, because it just seemed like it was extremely overwhelming. What it reminds me of is that being on social media, to have a difference of opinion that deals with what we're talking about, is if you put out a bunch of fruit on a sidewalk with ants, and they'll just devour one and then move on to the next and devour it and just move on to the next and that's all I see them doing this, it turned from just being canceled to just devouring people until there's nothing left, and then moving on. And then now we're picking up the pieces of being taken out by not all of sound mind individuals. So that's what, I think we've had this conversation before where we'll want to agree with something, but when we find out who posted it and we know this person is out of their minds, like, give me my like back.
I'm taking it.
It can't, and people are like, oh, you don't like the message and stuff like that. No, it's the encouragement. It's not even that. I love the message. Absolutely. It can be the encouragement that you give this individual, that you're also giving your energy to, that you're also giving a part of yourself to, that then you want to complain about when you're going like, why is the world fucked up while you're contributing to it?
Preach, Jovi Saturn, preach. She's giving charge. Yes.
And then I understand the nuance of it too. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, there has to be some kind of boundaries. There has to be something where we're going, okay, I understand there are exceptions to the rule. I understand that some people, you just don't like them because you don't like the way they dress, and so you won't listen to their message. And then I'm like, all right, that's a little silly. But you just said, if it's my energy.
Nuance.
Nuance. You have to you can't take all that. You can't be black and white about these things. And there's a real bad problem with that, which is why we probably also have a lack of leadership, is that you guys have killed them. They wanted to come out here, but they had one little thing that you didn't like because you couldn't find yourself in the answer. And then you ate them like an ant on fruit. And now they're just like, fuck it, I tried. And now they've
That's so retreated. True. We have polarized ourselves into devouring leadership, or those even willing to try to take the forefront. Nobody wants, the juice ain't worth the squeeze to most people that would even want to. Maybe they've tasted a little bit of pushback, which that's something else. First of all, I think this episode should be called "What the Fuck is Going On?" and then have the subsects of all the different
because there's a lot. It seemed at one point in time where we had kind of a handle on it. And that's what I'm realizing too, maybe this may be an indication again of the whole Pluto and Aquarius, because it's an extreme and it's so much and it's so fast and it's every fucking body. Where at first it was kind of like, okay, we're dealing with this. All right. So now we have lockdowns. We're dealing with this. Okay. Now we have a change in the workforce. So we're dealing with this. Now I'm looking around, I'm like, it's everything, and it's everywhere, and it's coming from everyone. You know, and that is where I'm seeing a lot of where you're going to have to set some kind of boundary. Hey, find some hills, my people, and choose them and die on them. You're going to have to stop at some point from considering the entire world, or you're going to drive yourself insane. There has to be something you work on, at least one, and find one. If your thing is, I want to save the rainforest, stick with that. Stay out of I also want to help air pollution or something. Like, don't do that one too. Do rainforest, you know. And then if you also are like, yeah, but I feel very strongly about people wearing blue on Sundays. No, don't do that one. Just stick with the rainforest. There will be somebody else for the people who wear blue, but we can't all do everything.
Oh my God, that's an excellent point. I so need to give this to my daughter, who had a conversation with me where she just said, either this is a Pluto and Sag generation kid, says either we're really slow because we do too many things, we smoke too much weed, maybe we're stuck. This is what she's saying about her generation. Or like, seriously, there's no way to consume everything that gets thrown at us. She gets the sort of fatigue about that is so feelable. Like, even in her just speaking about it, you're like, oh, I wasn't feeling that, but because of the fact that they grew up at a time, like I told her, you still have pieces of things left for you. Like, you don't remember growing up with smartphones from the time you were born all the way through. It was kind of like a gradual thing, but the most modern, what did she have it by the time she was 8? And at 8, she didn't have the luxury of having a bunch of different devices. So now you're living in a world where all of the people you went to school with, you're constantly seeing their life should they decide to put it on display. Most people are getting monetized. If they're not getting monetized, people still want some sort of attention. People don't understand the ethics in monetization, which is a whole other story.
Right.
She actually got somebody deactivated for posting lies on TikTok.
Like,
the fake this has been recalled. This woman just saying
the fake recall person.
Yes, things can get recalled for different reasons, but saying that in general with no explanation and causing fear and panic, I think that was my daughter's first look at, like, okay, well, this lady did that and I caught her. How many other people are doing this type of shit? And then that gave panic, because it's like, I've been consuming all this. It's everywhere. So I feel really badly for people who do feel stuck in it, because she said, like, I'll deactivate for a little while and then I'm back on here. Or I'll limit my screen time and then I'll surpass it. But I've changed my algorithm. She finds like little, things in there. But you're right. We don't have any direction that is admirable or makes me feel like there is much to look up to or emulate, except stupid shit. You know what people are emulating, Marie?
What is that?
Girl, they're emulating, copying other people's sort of posting styles.
Yes. Oh my God. I have seen that.
They're hating, they're being mean. Like, you know, I'm snarky. I've always been snarky, but I've even like pulled back a little on that because I'm not answering every fight I'm invited to. But there's some people who have been doing this. And now I see them like being successful, keeping doing what they're doing. And now there's other people that are like, well, that person can be mean.
Yeah. So
let me be. Yeah, or some people are ticking up their meanness. It's this very strange category where only a few people are still in that lane that they originally put themselves in. Of course, people can make changes and shit like that, but where they're actually following the path that they felt called to, and it's an authentic path because they're talking like they talk about the things that they want to talk about, not just being like, well, if I copy this girl's story and say it happened to me, and people are making up circumstances that have not happened.
Yes. Oh yeah. Or they're doing the where they're creating text messages.
Yes.
You know, they'll block out or change the name, but you know that either they're doing it from 2 different phones, or they have their homeboy or homegirl, hey, text this to me, I'm gonna text you this. It's scripted text messages. Scripted stories, scripted like, and it sucks because I can't even believe if things are real or not, and that's the other side of this. We don't know what's real and what isn't, and what people are just creating just for content. Like, they will find some arbitrary thing in the world, say it was a dog that was just walking across the street. It's a stray dog. They'll film the dog, but the caption will read, "This dog was just thrown out by their owners and left to starve." Bro.
And not that a homeless animal that's been thrown to the wild is funny, but it's just like, she's right. So because if you have to navigate too much when you're just scrolling, like if your brain has to actually take a path that says, is this real? Don't even get us started on the people who can't recognize AI videos or photos.
Right. Oh my God.
I noticed that seems to mostly be an older people thing, though it's not
Facebook.
exclusive.
It's horrible for Facebook. Be like, praise Jesus. Jesus was just performing at the
You're just like,
Madison Square Garden.
The things that are out here, it's hard to differentiate between fact and reality, but in these setup posts, because that's what the hell they are.
Yeah, they're set up. And so this is like that blur of line where we were talking about how social media is real. It's real life now. There aren't very many people I know that aren't logging in to social media at least at minimum once a day. You know, even if it's just for a quick moment, it's still a part of your daily, I must do this. You know,
especially if you create content, like, you know what I mean? That's what makes it worse, I think. Tell me your opinion of this. Okay. Do you think it would be easier to refrain from being on social media if you did not yourself have like your business endeavors and stuff? If you were just like a regular, I hate to say regular person, like you are a person, you're a beautiful person, but you're a person. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, yeah. But like just a regular person not concerned with any of that. I'll see people that won't be on Facebook for like 2 years and then come back and then take another break. And then like, I don't live in the area where I grew up anymore, so I don't run into these people in the area. The only way I can see them is online, but I'm actively seeing, damn, there's a gap. You can go to their page, 2021. Oh, you was like, right. for years. But do you think it would be easier to stay off of if you didn't have the concern of promoting? Because
I will say that when I took my recess, it was a lot easier. When I went into, I'm going to be a recluse, then I would say, I will also say that it was easier to stay off of those pages in which my business was tied to. I was using social media I wasn't tied to. So like I would be like on Reddit or YouTube before I started coming back out with my YouTube videos and stuff. But I'd like watch all YouTube videos, which is still social media because I'm still spending time reading the comments of whatever I just consumed. You know, or I go to Reddit or I'm looking up stuff online, and, you know, despite what anyone likes to say about Reddit, they are the best. You want a review, you write whatever you're looking for, Reddit at the end, you're going to find someone who experienced something, who tried something, who went through the business. You're going to get better reviews on than going to like Trustpilot. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But yeah, so it was easier to stay off of anything that I was intrinsically tied to when it concerned my business endeavors, but still engaging in other platforms that are essentially still social media, whether I'm engaging in the way that I would like, say, Threads, Instagram, or Facebook, right? And maybe that might also be the case too for people who don't have Facebook pages. They're on TikTok. And if they don't have TikTok, they're on Instagram. And if they don't have Instagram, they're on godforsaken Blue Sky. And if they're not,
I haven't had chances to try any of all the stuff. I can't. My brain will not allow me.
It's too much. Well, that's going back into what you're saying. It's too much, and there needs to be a focus. Saturn in Aries will actually speak to focusing. It's the lack of focus, because we're taking over I need to worry about this, and I need to worry about this, and I need to worry about this. And despite what anyone says, being a chronic multitasking sucks. It doesn't always work. And they say that all the time. They're like, multitasking, yeah, but I'm able to I swear to God, you're not doing it as efficiently as you think you are when you're focused on one thing. because I've also been able to focus on just one thing and see it through to completion very well. But when I'm multitasking, it's going to take me 6 years to get through the 50 things that I'm trying to do. And then I'm also redoing it because I kind of half-assed this one thing.
Yeah.
But now I have to start over. So multitasking, it's not that great. We believe that it works because it's called cognitive dissonance, because that's all we've ever known to do. So, yeah. And it's hard to change. So fuck it, I'm a multitasker. I'm not going to say it works. But this goes for everything. This goes for what we were just saying. When you're focused on 50 different issues that are going on in the world, you're multitasking your interests, you're multitasking, and you're half-ass helping each one of them. That's just it. Because if you were gung-ho about one humanitarian thing that you were interested in, you would donate more money. You would show up because there's nothing else taking your attention. You would fly out. You'd save whatever you have so that you can go to all the conventions, so that you can go to the countries, so that you can be there to help the people. But because you have 10 other organizations that you can only donate $1 to each of them because you don't have enough money to give to all of them, you can't show up for all their conventions because they're all conflicting schedules and you don't have enough money to go to each one of them. How much help are you actually supplying? This is what, pick a hill, die on it, just one. I swear to God, the fucking singular aspect that people have that if they don't do it, it's not getting done, ass bullshit with 7 billion people on the world. I promise to God, wherever you fail at, somebody's picking up the mantle.
Oh, she's still preaching. Why did I not know I was coming to church? No, that's true.
No, pardon me. Don't let me take over all of it.
No, I need to hear this. I need to hear it myself. It's very resonant, even from the framework of if you know you've done nothing but multitask your whole life, which meant you convinced yourself on the one hand, I'm good at being able to handle so much. You crack under pressure and you're not even taking it that way. Then you're like, oh no, I'll get past this. Meanwhile, your like head is squashed under the weight of all the things that you've already split your attention to. And then when you go, okay, all right, well, I mean, look at the one thing at a time. You don't know how to do it, so you never do it.
Right. Again, you don't see yourself over there because you ain't never had that kind of success. So how do you know? How would you see yourself there?
And that's a whole other monster. Like, oh God, but you're right.
Yeah. And then let's not even get into it. This whole Saturn in fucking Pisces, and then with the Neptune conjunct Saturn, and now that it's in Aries. Oh my God. Look, I'm going to sound like the most unsympathetic person, but I have great empathy because I experience it myself. But the woe is me stories of our lives are getting on my last nerve because it is Saturn in Aries. There is no action when you're stuck in pity. If I hear one more person say what they can't do because of their mental health, I'm going to scream. And it's not because some people aren't actually experiencing debilitating mental health. I'm gonna have to go personal. Maybe I'll share it in the future, but I'm dealing with actual very close family members that have extreme mental health issues that has sent me like I said, that might be a story for another day, but you know that there has been detrimental actions towards our family having to deal with that, while also dealing with my own personal mental health issues, from depression to maybe self-diagnosed ADHD or whatever the case may be, or executive dysfunction. So there is no lack of empathy here when I'm saying this. But I am also saying that despite that, and dealing with that, and working on it for myself, I cannot use it as an excuse not to take action to try to improve or create some kind of balance in my life for myself. 1, because I'm a mother. 2, I'm a wife. 3, I'm me. So I depend on myself, and I have people who depend on me. And yes, it's hard. And yes, it's difficult. And yes, I have very good days and I have very terrible days. But what I am seeing is this very large, once again, I'm a loser. Thank you for getting me to 1 million followers. So I'm just going to continue to be a loser because
it's a brand now.
It's a brand. Yeah. And I'm making money from it. And now you are supporting and enabling me from improving the condition of my life. and the condition of my life for others, because mental health issues do not just affect you, it affects everyone around you. So there has to be some kind of interplay where you're paying attention, that awareness that yes, I am going through something, and yes, my life was terrible, but how I project and how I act and how I deal with others, like you said at the very beginning, we're still in the world with everyone. There's no getting rid of it. And all I see is people who want to get all the healing and help and direction for themselves, and at the same time wish that everybody else would disappear. Because that's really what you want. You just want everyone else to disappear. You want everyone else that triggers you to disappear. You want everyone that creates pressure for you to disappear. You want everyone that has expectations for you to disappear, which is a very large expectation for you to have on the rest of the world and everyone that you encounter. See how that goes both ways? That's a lot. Hey, that's a big bill, bitch. How am I supposed to adhere to that? You want me to stop you just want me not to be me at all. Just not be here at all.
Fucking order. Yes,
right.
Marie, you and billions of people should cease to be billions of people. Matter of fact, why don't we all make ourselves like this one person who is putting more attention on the things they cannot change versus the things that they can? Because that's really what it's about. You only have control over you. So you being able to say, and I understand it, but I understand it might come off cold to people. I'm sorry, this lovely woman started in Capricorn. Okay, I have a fondness for that being central to her, vital to her, if you will, since it's her son, because I fucks with it. Because really, that's like I told people before, like if somebody had like a wound and it was like gushing, bleeding, pus and all kinds of stuff, you're gonna get mad at people for being like, I'm going to go over there with it. And you're just going to be like, but I should have the right to bleed on everybody. Everybody should just have to put up with me bleeding. And you never go, hey, I need to take care of this. You're projecting. Right. And projecting always, it's a revelation about the person projecting, always.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And so this, and for everything that you have brought up to me over like the last few weeks, we've been discussing the nature of the world. A lot of it is, they're not lying when they say that there's an entitlement. There's a nuance to the entitlement. So I get that as well. I do give empathy to those that are ignorant, and they're not going to like that word either. But you are ignorant. You're ignorant and you're naive. And you're ignorant and naive because you've not either allowed or been unable to be allowed to see a different way. Yes. Some people are stuck in a very dark bubble and you can't see out of it. And I look at these people, and that's exactly what I feel like. I've been there. I've been in a dark bubble where I wasn't taking advice, where I wasn't taking direction, where I couldn't see anything outside of my own pain, where I couldn't see anything outside of my own depression. So I get it. You have those people. Then you have those that are acutely aware of what they're going through. Hi, I'm an alcoholic, and I will do nothing to change that because you guys feel bad for me. And if I start taking care of my life, then I'm not going to get any kind of appreciation for that, because nobody cares when you're doing good. They only care when you're doing bad, which is also the rhetoric that we give out into social media by allowing people to, hey, you're being negative, so I'm going to be negative. So I'm going to continue to be negative because it's getting me attention, and not realizing how we're all contributing to this shit. Like,
and ignorant is not a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a perpetual state. Why don't people understand that?
No, I don't. I have no clue. Like, I don't.
It's just ignorant.
Clue, but I don't know. You know, like I have a clue, but I don't have a clue. Like, and going back to the whole lack of leadership. There's no one to follow. And then when there is someone to follow, they don't see themselves in it. So they don't want to follow it. You know, so we're stuck into that too. And it's going to, I will say that if there's a change of tide, it absolutely is going to have to take those that receded into the shadows to come and start pointing it out, to come and start saying something, and to know that there's nuance, but they have hills that they die on. That like, hey, look, I know you're going through shit, but no, I'm not going to let you bleed all over me. You know, like, hey, I know that life has been rough, but there's a lot that you can do to change that for yourself. You know, like, hey, I know that, you know, Here's a very intricate thing that I've realized. It's and I'm going to use politics in this one because this is where I see it the most. So what I have noticed with like the Democratic Party, right? And this isn't to say that I am on either side, like very closely. I don't give a fuck.
I don't either. I think it's all bullshit, and I just learned how to navigate it. Can I say that out loud?
Say it out loud.
I'm good to people, and I be the change I want to see in the specific ways that I can in the world. I can't deal with all. I can't.
Right. I made that post on Facebook where I said, "What y'all not gonna do is y'all me to death. My preferences have shit to do with your chosen hated collective." Like, and that's how I feel. Look, I don't give a fuck. But I pay attention to behavioral patterns. I like to watch how people interact and the word choices that they use. And this is what I realize that I see that happens, that we can't just acknowledge this before we have the conversation, but I'll see a debate between like a Democratic person and a Republican person. Really, I'll see it between an extreme liberal and maybe an extreme conservative, right? Mm-hmm. And the extreme conservative will have a hill and they'll die on it. I commend that. They will actually just say, look, I'm sticking to one thing. This is my story and I'm sticking to it and I'm not moving. I'm not this. They are aware of the nuance. They just refuse to be bombarded with all those extra thoughts, right? And then what I see with the liberal and I see with the Democrat is that they are aware of all of the nuance in the same way and they cannot choose a hill to die on, right? So their arguments will look very much like, I want rights for all people. And then someone will come over here, they'll be like, even the PDF files, to capture them to say, well, not for all people. But they can't say that because they go, well, in certain circumstances, it should be for all people because, and they're running themselves in a circle because in the back of their mind, they're considering every single nuance in their argument. Yeah. Like they're considering the exception to every fucking rule in their argument, which leads them to just complete what I call anarchy because you can't agree to anything. Because if you agree to something, you're going to make somebody else pissed off and they know that. So I pay attention to that argument. I'm just going, just choose a thing. Just choose a thing.
Why aren't you choosing a thing?
There's something you really, really feel deeply for. Choose that thing. Stop considering everyone else. Oh my God, that is a horrible thing to say. How could you not consider every single person? You know, if I sit there and say, well, you know, everybody's born with 2 arms, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Well, there are some people who are born with 1 arm. What about the people who have 6 eyes? And I'm going, I'm not talking about those people, and nor do I want to. So you're just a bigot. You're an ableist. You only care about the 2-armed people and shit. I only have the capacity to focus on the 2-armed people.
I think people get it fucked up. They don't realize that you're not saying fuck those people. It's not the same thing as saying fuck those people. It is the same thing as someone being able to say, look, if we sat here and talked about every exception, if we sat here and talked about every little pocket of this is different and doesn't fit, we would never get to the meat of the conversation.
Right.
I could even deal with having separate conversations about the other stuff. But in one, that's why the big debates, you know, all the YouTube channels that have like 20 liberals versus a conservative and you know, or vice versa. I can't even watch that stuff anymore because I already know what's going to happen. There is very rarely a person on there that can say, well, here's what I think, and then can add some sort of addendum that covers enough of the, like, at least I have consideration for other people. But if we're talking about majority or whatever it is, where they can perfectly let it be known, I have chosen what I think about this, and I do understand it doesn't just fit every single person on the planet and keep it pushing. People don't talk like that.
No, because they're afraid that they're going to insult someone.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what it is. Oh my God. The fact that I had to have this conversation to come to that conclusion about something that we've been seeing for years. Marie, I get extreme. Before we came in here, I feel bad saying this. The girl could watch, but I'm honest. Listen.
Right.
If you send me messages, I'm going to read them. And I'm going to feel very compelled to respond because you didn't have to message me. And oh my goodness, right? But please don't thrust a whole bunch of expectations upon me.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, the reason I'm saying that is because that same feeling that you're describing, you're watching the liberals and stuff have, like, oh shit, well, I can't say that because, like, it's this whole thing.
Right.
That's how I feel when situations like that happen, because I know it's not appropriate for me to go, that was a lot, ma'am.
Yes.
I appreciate that you follow me, but what in the entire fuck? Like, I can't be genuine, right? And I have a problem with tiptoeing around things, but I also have a problem with just being, let me just be as mean as fuck for no reason. So it's like this weird category where you have to realize that politically we're so polarized that people have taken that same political polarization, and those same hard stances are everywhere in every facet of their life, which ties into what you said about it not just being online. Did you see the video of people watching AI videos of Trump in a test group, not knowing they were AI videos of Trump, and them putting, I gotta send it to you, or maybe I should find it and let you watch it with me.
Right.
I could not believe it. So they had like regular stuff, like things that we know that he said, locker room talk. But then they would add extra shit in there, like, oh, my daughter, I should just touch her, and blah, 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 blah. You just have to see the cognitive dissonance wash over these people and them go, well, I mean, he does just say anything. And you're like,
we're going to start out and I want to share some leaked audio. And, this is audio of Trump saying some things, and we need your candid thoughts on what to do, right? This is not out at this point, but we need to have a plan in place on how to react and respond to this stuff if it ends up in the media. So.
Look, I need cameras in the dressing room. Cameras on the wall, cameras on the floor, aimed up at their whatevers. I want the best cameras, set up by the best Chinamen. Understand?
Yeah, well, that could be a violation of...
It's to make sure that they're safe.
Safe?
I mean, look, I can't be there all day. I'll just start grabbing them. Believe me, for them, not me. I'm a man, they're beautiful women. It's totally natural. Sometimes I'll walk in naked. So then we're all naked. I mean, if they file a complaint against me, I can file it right back at them. The Jew lawyer taught me that one.
We need to have a plan in place on how to react and respond to this stuff if it ends up in the media.
Well, this is obviously old. It's before he decided he was going to be a politician. I personally don't care. I just don't care.
See, I like him because he says all. I like him because he says all. We love it when he says what everybody thinks and won't say. And with that personality goes those kind of comments most of the time.
As a man, I know I've been in situations, we've been in locker rooms, it's man talk. I've done it, said it, they've done it, said it. I've been around plenty of men, professional, I mean, you name it, every man has said something to the effects that,
that they'd like to put the camera in a teenage girl's changing room.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one.
We'll be back with lots more of Donald Trump. Don't go away.
Okay, so am I doing all right, Larry? Because I'm a little woozy. I just get back from giving blood for this paternity test.
So what do they have to say?
It's for Ivanka. I'm double checking that she's really my daughter. I don't want to go my whole life and find out that she was fair game after all,
Your own boy.
It's just that she's voluptuous, successful, and, frankly, I heard she's great in bed.
And we're back in 5,
Okay.
4.
Does oral count as incest?
We're back with Donald Trump. We're going to be all over the board tonight.
Okay, so how do you feel about this one?
He's complimenting his daughter, like in his head.
Yes, it's crass because that is his own daughter. He's still a human male. As a male, I do say some things.
First of all, none of you sat and thought maybe this is AI. That's the first thing that I had thought. Because there's no way we wouldn't have known about the shit. They kept calling them unreleased videos so they could test an audience to see how at large people may respond to this very interesting information. If you can find that, I know where I saw it. I sent it to myself, but I was like,
it would probably piss me off. I'd probably watch
so
it.
Sorry. over here
probably watching
angry.
it, be shaking, like, wake up.
People are really
the moment.
alone.
Yeah, they are. And then, like I said, the whole not knowing who to follow, following the hive mind. You know what would work out so much better? And I've kind of thought about this before. If they would allow people to express how they genuinely feel about social issues or any issues, that they would be much better off finding people that could actually be, that could actually help them with their cause or their direction.
Yes.
Because that's okay, so for example, if I'm talking about, I like astrology, but I'm not a huge tarot fan, right? I'm in a group of like divinations and stuff. I would probably want, and I'm going to get people who are all like, cool, I'm more into astrology than I am into tarot. Now, just because I said I'm not really into tarot, it's cool, they can do that, I'd rather do astrology, then I'm going to find other people who are like, hell yeah, I want to work with you on the astrology shit. Versus I'm going, I like them both. They're just both equal and they should both have a pedestal. And then they throw me in the tarot group and I'm watching people with their cards and I'm dragging the group down, as a matter of fact, because I'm going to half-ass give into it because I'm just like, oh, I'm only here because I didn't really want to piss off the tarot people. I'd much rather be focusing on the astrology, but yay, King of Cups. But I got to put on... But I have to put on this mask that I'm just for all the divination tools. And now I'm bringing my half-ass allyship to the tarot group. I would hate that. I would much rather, as a tarot person, be like, yo, bro, if you don't really like tarot like that, just say so you can go to a group where you would I keep searching for the word and it's like I can't find it, where you wouldn't be a detriment to our cause. You'd actually be an asset to somebody else. Yeah, I know, it's cool. I know you don't hate us or anything. We're just not your cup of tea. All right, I get that. But can you get the fuck out of our group because you don't really want to be here?
Yeah, that's like me and a mayo lovers group. I abhor mayonnaise. Why the fuck would I be in here? Even if it was like mayonnaise and turkey. Oh, I can fuck with turkey, but not combine with mayonnaise. And I jump on every post and go, you people are disgusting. How dare you eat this shit? Like, why am I here? That's such a great point. People stick around to hate. I feel like that culture did an uptick when we were all in lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah, and they know what I'm talking about because everyone in here, like the audience is here with us. When they do come in here, there'll be some people who would be like, "That's just covert talk for being a bigot, or an ableist, or a racist, or a transphobe, or you're just an undercover hater." No, I am a focused on what I like, just like you are.
Listen, you get the same amount of time a day that all of us. That's what people, what?
I'm going to go where I'm best appreciated, where my work can be appreciated, where I'm going to help work on that. How about that? I don't have a problem with you. Go work on yours, and then we can meet in the middle because all the best people were put in the best places. That's how I look.
Nobody trusts anybody's expertise these days either. So like you said at the beginning, that presents a problem because for us to properly do what you just said, we would have to all be able to come back and be like, we know Marie did her due diligence. We know Jay, blah, blah, blah. But people are just like, or it's extreme. Either they don't trust people who they should trust, or it's whatever I say it is or what I think in a moment. A very complicated thing that might have taken years for there to be data about, research done on. This person who hasn't even half looked it up has already made a decision about its validity or lack thereof. Yeah.
Right. And then, and it is so sad to then see like hundreds of people following behind this person. Because one thing that we don't acknowledge is how scared everyone is. Everyone is afraid. And that's like the first step in dealing with what we're going through, is that we're all afraid. And what do you mean afraid? I'm not afraid. I'm brave. You're afraid to be wrong. You're afraid to be in the wrong group. You're afraid to be scammed. You're afraid to be taken advantage of. You're afraid to put your hope and trust and faith in someone, to be disappointed. So you're afraid to be disappointed. You're afraid that your efforts aren't going to be acknowledged. You're afraid you're going to be used. You're afraid that you're going to lose. You're even afraid that you're going to succeed. You're afraid that you're going to win. You're afraid that you're going to get the attention you're looking for. You're afraid you're going to fuck around and find out. You're afraid You're afraid you're going to miss out. You're afraid you're going to be the first one, and you're afraid to be the last one. You're afraid to be hurt. You're afraid to be happy. You know, like everyone, all of this is stemming from some sort of fear. You're afraid for the future. You're afraid of your past. You're afraid of the present you're in. And all of this is stemming from fear. And then astrologically, we know this to be sound because Neptune is conjunct fucking Saturn right now, going retrograde. We just dealt with Saturn in Pisces. We're still, when Saturn goes into Aries, we still have to deal with its conjunction to Neptune being in Aries, which makes people even taking action more because of their fears. Like, we're in the safest part of our world history that we've ever been. And people would think that that's not true. But
I understand.
Yeah, there isn't some guy with a sword coming over here and slicing your husband's head off and going, "This land now be of ours." Just because, you know what I mean? Like, that's not children. We can find people a lot more easily with tracking devices. You know, back in the day, if Jim was gone, Jim was gone. If we didn't find him in 48 hours, there was
Jim,
the poor Jim. There wasn't any Jim was seen last at this restaurant, and Jim was, because we have CCT cameras and stuff. So technically, we're in a more safer world than we've ever been. And the most fearful that people have ever been of the world that we're currently in.
And it's because nobody knows what's going on, too.
No.
And even if you do have a good bead on what you think is going on, now I'm going to sound all conspiratorial. And this is no shade to people who people would likely label conspiracy theorists. But, like, if you're paying attention and you get directed down a certain rabbit hole, hey, I ain't gonna tell you not to go down there, but I am gonna say this. I don't think any of us will ever really have a clue what's going on about certain things that concern the world at large, and that there will be a fair amount of deceit, and that's something to be scared of. Look at the little person I see. She look, hi, baby.
Oh my gosh, you get so excited.
I saw you right away.
Take advantage of it. All right.
You have touched on some things that I think should be talked about a little bit more, because we know Saturn is about to revisit Pisces. And the fear that you were just talking about, why am I laughing at these very serious things?
Because they're so obvious. It's not even that profound. It's just we're watching it and no one's putting words to it. It's really all it is. We all see it. We're just, so it's funny because you're just like, fuck. That's what it is.
All of a sudden, I'm fucking sitting there thinking of. I'm trying to do my Italian. Oh my god, I can't say stuff like this. See, I'll get canceled anyway.
I don't know. No, to that, see, even that doesn't even matter. Everybody that they so-called claim they cancel, there's only very few people that are actually canceled.
Sure.
Like Casey Anthony is canceled.
Yeah.
He's tried to come on social media, and I was just like,
you might not wanna.
That train has sailed for you, sweetheart. It's never ever gonna. Because there's one thing. There's two things you don't do on this planet, and that's fuck with cats or kids.
Yeah.
So, don't fuck with cats. I almost got canceled for my own cat thing. I didn't actually harm a cat. You remember that?
Yes.
Where they went on Threads, they tried to cancel me because I said that the cats had fleas, and so we had to rehome them because it was. We were, what was it? What's the word I'm looking for? It was an infestation.
Yes.
It was horrible. It was bad. And I had a newborn. And all the stress, the lack of sleep, all of this.
Yeah.
But we found her a nice new home and with a loving family that had a kid. But that wasn't good enough. It was the fact that I got rid of these cats were your family. Do you see?
Now, what
Would
if
you get rid of your kids?
Yeah,
no.
Should you have gotten rid of the newborn, who was the new addition to the house?
Because the newborn was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? I should have gotten rid of my baby because the cat was here first.
I'm very, very scared at the same scene. That's me talking about fear. It's not a real like scared fear. Like, I'm not thinking about this 24/7. It has no bearing directly on my life. However, there's a theme it. Now, there's two parts to this, I feel like. Number one, as we just got a little teeny bit of a taste of Saturn dipping its toes into Aries, it's now moving, or from our vantage point on Earth, appearing to move backwards. So at this point, as we approach the Pisces zone again, all I keep thinking of is the beginning of this year. And I keep thinking of what collectively was like, kind of like, because remember, the nodes change signs, in the middle of January?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so funny that the natural motion of the nodes is retrograde, because every nodal transit is starting at that 29-degree critical point. It's like, you can see the things that are in need of thinging or change, or whatever the case may be. They're screaming loudly. So I'm like, ugh. So remember, the beginning of the year, we were dealing with inauguration, and then people poised at the every move of Trump's second presidency. Yeah. I had to disconnect from a lot of that, because we could go back and look on social media. It's not even like we have to rely on our brains. These things are time damn stamps.
Right.
There was an entire 3 weeks where, though there might have been some distraction, there was no in-between really on what was discussed or talked about, and the divide that had deepened even further, which we already expected. But the side note type of conversations even had the same kind of weird feeling where you didn't know who to trust. That's how people were operating, especially when they were finding out how people voted. Like, if you just think of that climate, it was just like...
The bracelets.
Yes. Everything that could possibly, like, put a stamp on the, okay, well, you sound like you belong over there.
Right.
So, go over there. Stay away from good people. Like, there was so much of that, even to the tune of, there have been some people I've watched for, I hate talking like this, but I gotta tell the truth. I've been watching some people divulge, some slowly, some quickly but deeply, into madness on social media. Just this, some of them just took direct route. They did not pass go. They did not collect their $200. They just went straight to Delulu. And we are not making fun of mental health issues. I am simply saying that this is another thing to consider when we talk about how responsible you have to be for yourself, because there's a pattern of it online. There's a saved track. People can see you. And I know a lot of people, if you're having a crisis or something, you're probably not thinking about that. But it's gotten extreme. People are homeless now because of it. Missing now because of it. I've become aware of like 3 more things since I last talked to you about the themes that I'm seeing with, but they're still managing, homeless or not, to get on social media. And to post the dissent even further. And
the encouragement for that, it goes to the same, they're part of the same spectrum. Those that feel sorry for me and I'm losing my mind are Neptunian. They're both on the same Neptunian spectrum. So we're seeing the okay side of what it could be, that's not so bad but still not that great, and the worst of it. Wow.
I literally am like, every day it's somebody new. Right after I told you about one person, I saw a girl I've known for years who even did this kind of work that we do, not necessarily with astrology, but just as far as making content and having some insight that was past surface, right?
It's doomsday core.
Yes!
Doomsday core is a hot theme on social media. Like, it is, if you can convey fear very well about anything that's going on, then you're going to get an audience, which is only going to help propel that spiral even more. Because I can imagine that the people that you're seeing, if they're anything like me, the type of people that I'm seeing that are following the same kind of descent, what they're receiving in response for it. Are they so when you're seeing them, are they receiving, whether it's sympathy or encouragement? Like, I've noticed the same thing too, girl. Or I'm feeling it in the water, in the air too, girl. or boy, man, whoever is perpetuating the fear.
It's half and half for me. It depends on how deep the dissent has been. But for the things that are more cryptic that people post, that are less as like, or the nonsensical things, because I have a couple of friends, unfortunately, I don't understand what they're posting. And I don't even mean that from the standpoint of like, it's a subject I don't understand.
Your reading comprehension is extremely high. If you don't get it, then no one.
It's nonsensical or just gibberish. Like it's like, oh my God, my heart is hurting so bad because I know at the same time that I want to help this person. I know with everything in me, I do not need to take on anything that they are constantly going, because it's been years at this point. But I'm saying this because the people that are getting the feedback that's making them keep going, I've half of that too, because Miss Ma'am, it has actually made me back away from people I know offline because of what they're doing online.
Right.
I can't watch you, first of all, steal content, post it like it's yours, alter yourself. Like, I know we have AI pictures and things now, but there's a difference between equally posting yourself and then trying to get everybody to think you look like what is clearly AI to most people who can see. If there's a bunch of deceit that's there, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I don't want to know you. Protecting my mental health, which is something that I think Saturn and Pisces taught me.
Right. There was a lot of that happening. Well, that's where the retreat came from a lot of people who, and also going into what else you're saying about not wanting to take that on. Everyone is taking on too much. I know that we had this conversation about the reason why people aren't reading, and they think it's because people are getting stupider why they're not reading, and that may be a contributing factor. But I also believe it's because we're reading hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lines of comments every day. And not only that, there's also the theme of people using captions. I'm a caption movie watcher. I have to have my captions on or I can't hear. So there's, even if I heard it, I didn't hear it without the caption.
Who took away my sight?
Right.
I don't know what's happening now if I can't read it. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So it's taking on a lot. Yeah, we're taking on too much. So you're seeing these people that you're having to back away from to protect your mental health because it's one more thing to take on that we just can't. We don't have the capacity to. And I believe that, and this is my belief, that those that are falling into that hole are the ones that are taking on everything and aren't allowing themselves to cut off stuff and not, like you said, there's a I don't give a fuck and a I can't give a fuck.
Right.
There's a difference with that, right? So to sit there and say, oh my God, I know that these people are suffering. I know that this is going on in the world. I know that our politics are horrible. I know that the war is happening in 68 different countries right now, that only 3 of them are being mentioned. Sorry, had to do that. That was a jab. I know that there's issues going on with people's rights, with different movements that are scary, gaining momentum and traction, but you're taking all of it on. You're going to drive yourself insane because you can't. You're never giving your emotions a chance to, one, not be afraid. You're never giving your emotions a chance to not be angry. You're never giving your emotions a chance to not be sad. And I get it where some people are all like, well, how can you? If you know all these things are going on, you should be angry. You hear that a lot, right? That campaign. You should be mad. You should be angry. You should be sad. You should be all this. When has anyone who was super, super angry done something beneficial for you? Are you gonna be happy if I come over to help you move your furniture, but I'm angry as fuck? I'm probably dropping your furniture on the ground, probably punching your pictures, because why do we have to put this in the U-Haul? All this fucking broken glass. Like, when someone's angry and they want to help you, what do you usually say? Nah, I'm good. Look, if you're pissed off, don't even worry about it. Leave me alone. I'll do it myself. Right? So there's also that side of it too. You want all these people to be angry and frustrated and scared and sad. what good can that really do if also you don't give your chance to come from a place of hope, a place of opportunity, a place of good health and happiness, a place of focus? Yeah, you would be driven insane too if you were angry all the time.
That's why I just had a memory come up. I don't even remember what the post was, but when I saw the comment, I remembered exactly how I felt 2 years ago when the person wrote it. They essentially were saying, oh, what a luxury it is to worry about inconsequential things. I don't have anything to be happy about with the way the world is. I didn't even reply to that because my thought was, sorry to hear that.
Right.
Secondly, sucks to be you. And I don't say that from some sort of place of I'm putting myself above anybody. It's from a very specific thing. I used to feel like that when my own world was falling apart. What made that something that I could survive is completely changing that stinking ass thinking. Because that's some stinking thinking. There are billions of people on the planet. There's always going to be something going on. Most of it you're never going to know about. But even for the stuff that you do know about, if it impacts you, that you're saying you can't have any joy, and I know you have 2 children.
Whoo! That's not the kind of rhetoric you want to be spewing out.
Miss Ma'am, sucks to be you. What? Hold on. And then you double down on it constantly with, this is someone I had to Homer Simpson away from online that I know in real life, because I can't handle that. I didn't unfriend them, but you remember the thing where you can take a break? I don't even know if you can still do that. Because
you can like mute them or something.
Yes, it's okay for you to work through what you got to work through. I don't have to be a party to it. And that's part of what Saturn and Pisces started doing for me. I thought Saturn and Aquarius made me super like, oh shit, I don't want to know all these people. Oh my God, I'm connected to this one. Oh my God, like, dude, this is part of my network. Am I sure I want to be a part of this group? It was a lot of, that was heavy during that time frame.
And it's funny because I had this conversation with my husband yesterday, and I realized something within that too. The people who say that they can never be happy, the people who say that, oh, with everything going on in the world, you should be angry, you should be sad, how can you be happy? Are typically, I only ever see them say this when they're not getting what they want. Because they are certainly not saying that when they're ordering food from DoorDash. They're certainly not saying that when they're going shopping. They're not saying that when they're going on vacation. All of a sudden, the world isn't so bad when you're getting what you want. But at the moment that you're upset, you don't get what you want, you're not seeing things go the way, all of a sudden now the world is abysmal. So you even pick and choose when you decide that you want to be unhappy. And then when you're in that unhappiness, you then want to tell other people they don't have a reason to be happy, which is disingenuous because there are moments when you are happy. Under extreme nuances for those people who are suffering with depression, I understand that. We're not talking about you.
No.
What we're saying is that there are people who are behind the scenes and even on social media buying their favorite outfit, going out to their favorite restaurant, hanging out with their favorite family members, enjoying the time, having a time of their life, smiling and being happy. That doesn't necessarily mean you're happy. You can be depressed. See, I can hear all these people that I have to, you see how I can hear them? But still, you're finding moments to be happy. At the moment that you're not getting what you want or something didn't go your way, the whole world sucks.
Oh, yes.
And everyone else should feel the same way as you. So, I had to make that post a few days ago too, where I was discussing, I can't even remember what I was discussing, but I do remember the key point was at the bottom where I said, and don't come in here with your rebuttals because you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Understand what I'm saying and you know what I'm talking about. So this goes for, like, I'm realizing even in our own conversation, and this goes into paying attention to the focus and the Neptune and the Saturn and the Pisces and the Aries, and even via Uranus and Gemini, these switching thoughts, these change fast, all this data that we're getting, is that we feel compelled to keep reminding people, not everybody. We keep feeling compelled to keep saying that there's nuance. We have to say it 16 different times in 100 million different ways, because there's always that one person who goes, what about all the tea in fucking China? Well, that doesn't apply to this. Well, what about this? It doesn't apply to this. Bitch, I'm not God. I am a human being. My brain is the same size as yours. Okay.
Maybe a little bigger and not smooth.
There's only so much I can fit in here at one time, and I am constantly bombarded with new information and new data. I also have to remember to live in the moment. Y'all be wanting people to live in the 45th dimension that you can't see but swear it exists. You can't even conceive it. It's inconceivable, but it looks like this.
They've been there 7 times. We never even saw it.
In my imaginations, I imagined it looks like this, but I can't imagine something to be real if I've never seen it before. But I believe I've seen it because I've never had success before, so I can't see myself in it. You see how that was just...
Yep.
I'm being an ass because we need people to be legitimate, empathetic assholes now. I do all of this out of empathy because I'm tired of seeing, and not even tired because of my own, like I'm sick of it for myself. It is horrible for me to go about in the world like this. Yeah. Having to deal with people like that. I want you guys to be happier. I want you guys to be more intelligent. I want people to be successful. I want them to be proud of themselves. I want them to actually have a moral conviction despite what anyone else says, and for them to stick with it because it makes them feel good and not have to feel like they have to spread themselves thin like mayonnaise and peanut butter. See, both that combination just spread all of your two incompatible spreads all over the world. Just
there's
to
somebody that eats that shit.
Let me make other people happy. Like everything you're doing is to make other people happy while you're not. It doesn't make any sense to me, because then you're not really giving people happiness. You're giving them compliance. You're giving them whatever the half-ass multitask project you've been working on for 6 years that you have to redo because it wasn't perfect. So. But it's coming to a point now where you guys had your chance where everyone was all nice and sweet, and then you took it to the extreme and felt like you had to be nice all the time for everything. And we see where that got us. Then you have the people on the other extreme where you just had to be completely cold, cruel assholes, which I don't support either. Like, don't be that. Like in anything that I know you to the depths of my soul, like I know myself. We are not, and oh my God, see, I consumed too much data. We're not horrible people. Horrible people say that. See, see how I am aware of every fucking online rebuttal someone can have for everything you say? Yes. But no, I know our hearts. I know that we genuinely want people to be happy. And the reason why, and it's for selfish reasons. I want you to be happy because when you're happy, I'm fucking happy.
Yes, thank God. Someone understands me. Oh my God.
If you're happy, I'm fucking happy. I don't have to deal with anything that's all fucking bad and terrible. And neither do you. Look how that worked out. See, win-win situation. So there needs to be, this is probably if I were to say the keywords for Saturn and Neptune and Aries, the empathetic asshole, the wise empathetic asshole. I have sympathy for you, but and it's not even tough love, because fuck that too. Because some of y'all don't even know how to do that correctly.
Nope.
Because you're just tough. I don't see any love in it at all. You don't love this person. You're getting a kick out of seeing them down. So no, I know that I don't come from that place, but at the same time, we need to snap some of us out of it, including myself, because I consume the same media. Don't think that we're not subjected to the same propaganda as everybody else. Exactly. I fucking fall into it too, where I'm all like, oh God, I can't do anything. The fucking world is a fucking mess. All these people, how do I save them all? I can't save myself. Fuck everybody. No, that's horrible, you bigot. Like.
It is so complicated.
It is. But I do have at least, well, what's the solution? I hear you. What do we do?
Focus on yourself.
Focus on what brings you happiness. I put it like this. If happiness is being an activist, really be happy that you're doing that. Think about that shit. Really be happy about being an activist. Are you really happy about fighting for this? Does it really light your soul on fire? Or do you just love the amount of attention you get on social media? You got to separate the two. So they're not the same. And it's actually a detriment. Move out of the way, because there's somebody who really loves it while you're doing it. Yeah. Move out of the way. Let the person who really loves it take your spot. Go do the thing you really love. And then you can help that sector of humanity. Everyone has a job to do. Find your job.
I'm so glad you said that. It needed saying. It needed saying. And it brought up something for me. Enjoyment, because you enjoy attention. Okay.
Right.
That don't have to be deep. That's very Venusian. But what you're talking about is the sort of like authentic, loving, needing, yearning for something to come forth that's genuinely from inside you, that you know in your heart, like you said. People aren't following their heart.
No.
They're either following what they think they're supposed to be doing, the money, or one of many Venusian things. But you're absolutely right with that. Find your job. God damn it.
Find your job. And just because you're doing your job, like you said earlier, it doesn't mean that it's fuck all the other jobs.
Yes.
You want to put the best people in the best places. I'm a cat lover. I love all animals. I really love cats. I'd probably focus most of my time trying to help felines. Does that mean that I don't care about dogs and birds and I hope they starve? No, but I'm best suited where my heart will flourish the most. I will absolutely go out of my way. I might not answer the call for the macaw. It's not my expertise. I don't know what to do with a macaw. I love them, but they'll probably lose feathers fucking with me. I'm going to let the absolute macaw lover take that job, but I'll take over the feline job. Do you see, this is an example, that an analogy to use across the board for everywhere. Go where you're best suited, where your heart really belongs. Stop taking on everything else.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Spiritual Gangsta Certified podcast with my part 2 of Chat and Chill Convo with Jovi Saturn. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I post a new video. Peace.